critics have said that you have film staying power. And critics usually don't have good things to say. So I think that that's a very good notch on the wall for you. Can you let me know, where are you from? How did you get started acting? And are you formally trained?
Yeah, I'm actually from Richmond Hill, Queens, New York, from the Big Apple. That's always been home, born and raised. And when I left there, I left at 19. I did the Air Force for about 11 years. And when I got stationed here in Florida, I stayed because it was warm, of course, but I ended up getting into acting because I was doing radio, and even before radio, I was DJing since 11 years old. So I guess it kind of developed into the next phase. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to do that 9 to 5 anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so going back to radio, I kind of left the job, said I'm going to go back to radio, and from there was a nice young lady by the name of Linda Smith, that came in, and she had an acting class for minorities, and it just hit me like, acting? Hey, so I decided to try it. So I ended up going to a performance studio workshop for about 4.5 years during my stint here in Florida, and I've been at it ever since. That was back in like 2003, 2004 when I got into the game.
Wow, so it's been like 7 years that you've been acting, and you said you had a stint in radio, and you were in radio since the age of 11. So I'm sure now that you can look back and see how all that time you were prepared for where you are today.
Yeah, not actually radio since 11, but I was DJing during the birth of hip-hop from 11 years old,
Wow.
And when Grandmaster Flash and all these cats were coming out, these were some of the people I looked up to at the time. And so it did prepare me a lot for, captivating an audience, because as a DJ, if you're not playing the right records,
you
right
can't move the party.
Yeah, if you're not emceeing correct, people will get off the dance floor. And so, I learned that early on, and I guess this definitely was a tool that worked well into the craft of acting for sure.
From what I could find, you've had a considerable number of roles in film, television, theater, and industry commercials. How do you determine which roles best suit Lucius?
I think first and foremost, I like a good story. I mean, of course, we want to work. An actor wants to work, wants to be able to stretch themselves. But a lot of times, when you're new, people say you can't pick and choose. But I mean, you can, and I like some of these roles that allow me to stretch myself. So I look at it from a creative aspect. I look at it if it's a great story to tell, and if I can be a part of it, that's awesome. Or the production value. So some of these things are really important to me and allow me to stretch myself. I think I've been very blessed and fortunate that I've been able to get these supporting roles of these really different stylized characters that they're all so very different, and that I'm getting to show my range. And that's what I like to do. If there's these different roles that I'm getting to show this range I have and these different dimensions as an actor, that's really a fortunate thing to be able to do. So that's what I look at mainly. I'll even do shorts. I work for free. I do things for free because I really like the craft. And
right.
They say as an actor, if you don't love what you do, if you wouldn't do what you love for free, if you're doing it for money, you're in the wrong business, And I love what I do, so when I have opportunities, like I said, I'll do shorts, I'll do things for free, but I know that this is some material I get to reflect on, I get to learn from, stretch myself. So those are the things and those are the factors that help me make those decisions. Indeed.
Speaking of roles and passion about roles, Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans, was a 2010 Spirit Award nominee for Best Cinematography, and you played beside Nicolas Cage, whom was quoted for saying that you're ready. What was the most challenging and rewarding part about that role?
think the most challenging thing would be just understanding that I am ready. You know, sometimes it's easy to get caught up in what's going on, and I think that was the biggest challenge for me, was just really more the self-reflection of, you know, of the hype and everything that was going on, and being able to do this. I think the most rewarding was exactly that, when you do your work, and then somebody of the status of Nicolas Cage, who we know has been in the industry for so long, you know, a respected actor, tells you while you're shooting a scene, right after you're done shooting the scene, and then this 10 minutes to a half hour that we've been working together, you know, to get this scene, that they tell you something like that, it's just confirmation. It's confirmation. And you know, I always feel I'm ready, you know, but you have to have that. You have to have a knowing when you're ready. But for somebody like that to confirm it, that was really, I can't even describe it. It was just a really good moment. It was a really good moment, and let me know that I'm on the right path of what it is I'm doing.
Nominated for the award and being recognized by your peers. I know that you also have appeared on Tyler Perry's House of Pain. How was it working with him in the cast?
The cast of, I can't even begin to say enough good things about how it is to work on that set. That it is so family oriented. It's like you showed up, and if you were going to a barbecue just with your family and friends, it was just that pleasant an atmosphere. You know, to have a wonderful prayer for everybody at the beginning of the day, which really sets the tone, you know, for everyone, and just to have a really great day. And that was an awesome experience as well. Those guys, they know what they're doing. They get it done, and my hat's off to them, because they're wonderful people to work with. I'd work for them again and again. It's just that pleasant an atmosphere.
Okay. Speaking about recent roles, I know that you most recently played Officer Bill Hall in the feature film Casadega. Can you tell us more about the plot, your role, and when we'll be able to see you in action?
Well, this one is directed by Anthony DiBlasi. He actually works a lot on a lot of horror films, and he's co-producing Hellraiser, the new Hellraiser that's coming out. And this is a nice supernatural thriller that's based in Casadega, which is an actual spiritual town. It's the most known spiritual town in the world, and it's here in Florida. So that's the setting of it. And there's a young woman by the name of Colleen Coleman. She plays the lead, and she's deaf, and her sister passes, but they go to this town, and she's drawn into these spirits and everything that are starting to appear to her, and she's trying to figure this all out. And during the course of figuring this all out, she may or may not figure out what's actually going on, but it's going to be really good supernatural. I've never had a chance to do a supernatural thriller with a horror feel to it, so that was fun. That was a lot of fun. You know, gets a little gory, and we're looking at, hopefully that'll be released sometime this year. So be on the lookout, because Kevin Alejandro was in that, from True Blood, on HBO's True Blood. He plays Jesus Velasquez, so you'll see him in that as well.
HBO's True Blood. Okay, so you're familiar with HBO because you're also co-starring in the second season of HBO's Treme. What other roles are you working on, and where else can we see your work?
Oh, man, that's, so you'll see that coming out. That'll be actually probably the season premiere in April.
Okay.
But HBO's Treme. Wendell Pierce, awesome cat. I didn't get to meet Candy Alexander, but, yeah, Wendell Pierce is a phenomenal to work with. He's from New Orleans, and that's where they shoot it. They shoot it in New Orleans. So you will see that coming up, hopefully in April, in the season premiere. And I'm getting ready to, I got some other projects under my belt. I'm looking at, hopefully, I'm in talks for Tooth Fairy 2, you know, and a couple other projects. So So as they come up, I'll definitely keep you posted. You posted.
That sounds good. Excellent. Now, I'm always interested in finding out who people are looking forward to working with now that you're in the industry and definitely establishing yourself and gaining a footing as an actor. Who are some other actors and actresses that you would like to see yourself beside in the near future?
Wow. Well, that's a long list. You got that kind of time?
I got that kind of time.
You know what? I would love to work with people from the cast of The Game. You know, with Atkins. I would love to work with Ice Cube on his series. I would love to work with, of course, Denzel. I would love to do something that brought Sidney Poitier back.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, Sidney is living legend type. Yeah.
Yeah, living legend.
Yeah.
Of course, we continue to work with things on projects with Tyler Perry. I would love to do something with Monique. Man, there's so many. I would love to do something with Chris Tucker, Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart is hilarious.
Yeah, I love it because, like I said, I have this range, and so when people see the different things I'm capable of doing, I mean, I would love to work with these people and have an opportunity to do these things and just have a lot of fun with it. Man, like I said, there's so many, a lot of new and, like you said, living legends that I would love to have the opportunity to work with.
Okay. Well, there's a young man or woman somewhere in the world, and they're looking at Lucius Baston, and they're saying, wow, I wish I could get there, be that, do that. What are some words of wisdom or inspiration or encouragement that you can give to those that are up and coming in the industry or want to get, into the industry?
I think the first and foremost is to understand that you lack nothing. There's nobody doing anything that you don't have the ability to do. And I think sometimes we have to recognize what our gifts are, because sometimes we may want to do something that's not necessarily our gift. But recognize what your gifts are, recognize your God-given talents, and understand that is your purpose, is to share your gifts. So it doesn't matter whether it's acting, whether it's you want to be a doctor, from anything you wish to do. Understand what your gifts are, and this way this allows you to not just live on purpose, but to live with purpose. So live your purpose. Get out there, experiment with different things, and find out what it is that you're passionate about, that you're good at, and what you have a gift for. Because there are going to be people, no matter from all walks of life, there's going to be the haters, there's going to be the people that's going to tell you no and that you can't. But if you have that knowing of what your gifts are and who you are, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you from achieving anything you want.